Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Season 13, Episode 45, overall 705 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Automall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210, and Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family-run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969, and they have been an advertiser sponsor of this show, Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, for the past 3.5 years. I hope everyone's doing well on this Thursday, May 7th, 2026. Still kind of chilly here in Southern Ontario, and I'm looking forward to my guest today. This is her first appearance on our show. We met through TikTok, and we're going to bring her on right now. She is the founder of Light. She's founder of the Light of Souls Reflexology out in the province of Saskatchewan, and her name is Jessica Vaughters, and we're going to bring on Jessica right now. Hello, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you doing?
Not too bad on this May 7th. It's warmed up a little bit here, but we're still getting rain and even frost at night.
Oh, I know. We are too. It's been a very slow spring.
Do you still have snow on the ground down in Saskatchewan?
Actually, yes, we do in some areas. Yeah. It's been a very heavy snowy year, and it's been very long and melting.
Absolutely. We actually had a traditional winter here in Ontario this year. It started probably the end of October, beginning of November, and it wasn't until about a month ago we lost over major snow. So it's been a kind of a long winter, and for another week or so until the middle of May, it's going to be below normal temperatures and rain too. The grass here is nice and green.
Yeah, well, we don't have green grass yet, so you're ahead of us in that.
So are you originally from Saskatchewan, or are you from another part of Canada?
No, not originally. I was born in Lethbridge, Alberta, and we moved to Saskatchewan when I was a teenager. So yeah, we've been here ever since. So it's been about 20 years.
What do you enjoy the most about the province of Saskatchewan?
Honestly, I'd have to say the people. They're very, very friendly. Everyone's there to help each other. The community is really good here. So I would definitely say it's the people. It's not the weather or the mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes. I've never actually, they weren't too bad here last year in Southern Ontario, but I figure this year they probably will be.
Yeah, well, you never know.
I'm hoping one day to get out to Saskatchewan and to Western Canada. I've actually visited more of the states than my own country. So without getting into politics, I think I'm going to start visiting more of Canada and Western Canada's on my list, especially Saskatchewan.
Yeah, no, it's pretty great. I would recommend the summer though. Not the winters are pretty cold and long.
Now, are your colds really like a dry cold, or are they really like with a wind chill factor?
Oh, well, there's a bit of both actually. It can be the wind chill is really it can be nasty, but it's a dry cold for sure. It's not like Vancouver or those other places where you have a lot of damp cold. It's just brutal though because it will go forever and it just feels like it never ends.
I would assume you'd have to have a block heater in Saskatchewan for the wintertime.
Yeah, we definitely have a few of those.
Yes. Well, Jessica, I want to say thank you so much for coming on tonight as a guest. And I'm based near Toronto, so I'm probably a couple thousand kilometers away from you. But can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Um, well, like I was saying before, I was born in Alberta in Lethbridge, and we moved here when I was a teenager. I got married pretty young, so I was married by the time I was 20, and I had my first four children in 4 years right after that. So by the time I was 24, I had four children, and then we had a little surprise baby 5 years later. So I have five kids altogether. About a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, I started reflexology. And before that, I just did a few of my own little home-based businesses. But this was something I wanted to learn about more because I had done a lot of work with trauma and mental health and different things like that. And reflexology was the venue that I wanted to bring it into the body. So figure out how can the body support that healing journey. And so yeah, that kind of takes me to where I am today.
I'll be honest with you, for many years when I thought of reflexology, I always thought about, okay, it's the feet and stuff, the feet and that, but it also involves the hands and ears too.
Mhm. Yes, it does. Yeah, and I think there's even a version of face reflexology that people can get done as well. Um, your nervous system has all of the endings of the nerves, and they end in your feet and your hands. So your hands and your feet mirror each other, and then there are also reflex points on your face. So when you work those nerve endings, it opens up the any flowing that needs to happen, any tension, it releases that in the body so that the body then can function and heal itself.
Now, where did you attend school, Jessica? And did you have some early influences and mentors getting into the reflexology industry?
Uh, no, actually, it's kind of a funny story because, again, I had my main focus at first was just my own mental health journey. And I decided one day that I needed to get something, I needed to bring it more to the body. So when I took some training for reflexology, I didn't even know what reflexology was at the time. It ended up being, I went to a conference and there was a woman, her name was Dr. Rose Backman, and she was doing some sort of specialized form of kinesiology. And I think she mentioned something in her past about reflexology. I'm not really sure, except for that it stuck in my head. And a few weeks later, I was like, I wonder what that is. I should look into this. I looked it up. I found there was someone teaching a course in Regina, and I booked the course right then. And that's how I started. So I went into reflexology not even knowing what it was. It was just one of those things that all the doors, all the opportunities opened up, and I just felt drawn to it. And now I understand why, because it works directly with the nervous system. And it's such a perfect way of bringing that understanding from that mental health and that feeling of safety within your own body. And reflexology literally does that with your body. So it's pretty cool.
Now, to be in reflexology in Canada specifically, do you have to take schooling and training and being certified?
Yes. So I went through a process where I went to the training, and after the training, I had a practicum that I had to do, and then I took another course, and then after that, I pretty much had to go through another program in which I got certified. So I got certified by my instructor, but then you have to go through another program to get insurance coverage. So that I had to take an exam for, and they see if you're following all the codes and standards that they ask for.
For our audience that's watching our show right now, live stream or on audio, and they're interested in seeing a reflexologist, what are some good signs for them to look for in a reflexology person?
I would say, first and foremost, who you feel safe with, like if you feel comfortable, that's always whenever you're finding any practitioner or something, that if your body feels tense or uneasy around them, then obviously you won't be able to receive the maximum benefit from that. Um, but the second thing I would say is how much they listen to you and how intuitive they take note of your body and hearing what it is that you're saying your needs are. And it's not just a routine get the job done. It's more how much are they listening to you and then intuitively listening to your feet when they're working on you? Are they working the areas that they feel like there's extra tension and they can sense that without you even saying? Or is it just like they're just following a routine? Those are the kind of things I would look for.
When you do a session, do you just focus on the feet or do you do the hands and ears too?
I'm actually taking another course this summer for hands because I would like to kind of expand my work. So far right now I'm only done the feet.
How much of an impact has reflexology had on your life and also mental health? How can it improve someone's mental health?
I would say I have a bit of a different outlook on reflexology than what I've generally heard other reflexologists talk about. But when it comes to mental health, it is one of my favorite modalities because it literally works within the system of the safety of the body. So your nervous system is what regulates your emotions, it regulates your hormones, it regulates everything, every function of your body. So when you are struggling with mental health issues, you're very dysregulated. You're in a state of survival, and that survival state is what's actually making it worse, so to speak, because you can't begin to feel like you can work on those issues if you feel like you're in that defense mode and your guard is up. Reflexology, what it does is it takes your body from that state of feeling so on guard and holding your defenses up to being able to feel relaxed and safe. And when you feel like you can relax and safe, now you can start to deal with those issues. So it doesn't fix the issues, it just provides the space for you to feel strong enough to address those issues. So I think that's vastly important.
Now, how much can a reflexology session shrink somebody's stress level?
Oh, I would say huge. So in the session, every time I work with my clients, they will walk away feeling like very, very peaceful. You wouldn't imagine just by someone working on your feet that you'd be able to feel your entire body just goes into that state of rest. It's equivalent to like when you're in a deep sleep and your body is in that rest and repair mode that you're supposed to get into when you're able to have a good night's sleep. It does the same thing for your body. So if you were like a computer, it would be like that reset button and you get to restart the computer and all those programs shut down and you can have that clean slate. That's what reflexology is like.
What's an average session like on typical? And when you are doing reflexology and rubbing somebody's feet, do you end up washing their feet first?
Yeah. Well, I have wipes on hand.
Okay.
I would say if someone had really bad feet, then I would also ask them to go to the washroom and actually soak them. But generally speaking, people come with the idea that their feet should be clean. So I take wipes and I clean their feet first, and then after that, first we actually do a health intake. It's very important to kind of understand where their health history is, and then yeah, we sit down, wipe the feet, and we start the session and adjust the pressure to make sure the pressure is appropriate per person. Everyone has a different level, and something that's really unique about reflexology is that it is completely up to the comfort level of the person. So it doesn't have to be painful, even though a lot of people may experience as painful. Because we're working nerves, we're not working muscle tissues like you would be in a massage. You don't actually have to be really digging hard into those spots. You just want to be stimulating them, which works the signals. So you don't have to, it doesn't have to be painful. And quite often it can actually be counterproductive if it is super painful because then you're tensing up and you're still holding that tension in your body and you're not able to relax. So then, yeah, after we're done doing that first assessment, I will go through and work every single reflex point on the foot on both sides because you have to do both feet. What you do to one, you do to the other. And then often I will go back in and I will use some lotion because I like to start with a dry, and you do what's called a thumb walking where you just kind of walk your thumb like this over all the reflex points. And then I'll go back in with an oil and I will really massage and get into those places and loosen up that tension where I feel it. And that's pretty much it.
Just out of curiosity, how many pressure points are there in a foot?
Well, there's over 7,000 nerve endings between the 2 feet. So there are a ton of nerves. But there's a lot of the reflex points specifically. I couldn't give you a number. It's just pretty much every part of the foot. So I can use the hand as an example because it pretty much mirrors the foot. Like if this was your big toe and your toes and all. So in this entire area, it covers, you have your lungs and your heart is going to be like in this area. You have your adrenal glands, your kidneys, your stomach, the hands, like the fingers or the toes, represent the sinuses, the eyes, and the ears, this whole area up in your head. Your big toe or your thumb is the representation of your head, and then the top of it is like your brain. So all these different points, and so then there's a pituitary and all the different functions of your body that are tied to your hormones and your emotions and your organs. So yeah.
Jessica, when you think of reflexology, a lot of people think, oh, it's for women only, but do you get some male clients as well as
Oh
females?
yeah. No, I would probably say, um, I would say it's a pretty close tie to men to women because men especially find that their feet hurt. So I have a lot of men come to me because they're in work boots all day or they're farmers or different things where they're on their feet a lot. They're working on cement and they just want to have some like that ache in their foot is so intense that sometimes they just want some relief from that. So yeah, I get a lot of men and they really enjoy it. There's the odd person that doesn't like their feet being touched and is a bit weird about that, but honestly, um, yeah, men enjoy it
How,
just as much as women, and it's very beneficial for both.
how do you work around somebody that's not totally comfortable with their feet being touched?
Usually, I would say, which is why I'm taking the hand reflexology. If they weren't comfortable with the feet, I would do their hands. Most people that aren't comfortable with feet, they just don't book. But I did have one person who wasn't, and I did it anyways, and they were okay with it. But it seems to be more of a mental thing.
What are some stereotypes of reflexology even today in 2026?
I think that people kind of stereotype it as a bit like woo woo and a bit like one of those things that you can't really know. You have all these claims like how can you be pressing on one spot and that's your liver or something like that. And I think that's fair, which is why I actually prefer to focus reflexology more on the fact that it regulates your nervous system because it does, and that's something that a person that comes and sits in my chair can immediately feel the effects of that. So instead of it being like, oh, I'm pressing this spot and now your kidneys, something with your kidney. It's more about your nervous system and creating a clean nervous system so that the functions of the nervous system to the kidney and to wherever else can work better. Because, yeah, it's not like it's this woo woo weird energy thing. Honestly, it's just about clearing signals in your nervous system so your organs and everything can function better.
Jessica, how would you describe yourself as a reflexologist? And can you tell us a little more about hand reflexology too?
Well, like I said, I haven't really taken much training with the hand reflexology. I've just looked into it myself. I am taking some training this summer. But from what I do know, it is just as effective as foot reflexology. You can do both of them at the same time. So you can do the feet and the hands as a package. And that just, again, works all those nerve endings really well. And it really helps improve the circulation and the regulation of your body. Um, and me as a reflexologist personally, like, what do you mean exactly?
Just how would you describe your style as a reflexologist?
Okay. I would say it's very intuitive. I really watch intently the reactions. Like when I'm working on someone's foot, I can feel different parts of where there might be extra tension buildup, and I'm really feeling between their foot and their reactions with whether they feel like they're jerking, if it's too painful. And I'm really it's a gauging game for me of how much we can push into this and work out that tension without stressing their body. So it's a bit of a dance, I find. And the other part about it is the whole environment. Everything that I like to provide in my environment is to induce that sense of safety and that they can just take that load off because like I was saying with the stress and the daily pressures and things that people have to deal with, which quite often affect our mental health, is we hold so much in, we hold so much responsibility. And so being able to come to a place where you're taking time for yourself and then your body can just create that place of peace and relaxing and healing, I find it so powerful. So that's everything I look to in a session is like how can I help facilitate a space for a person to feel completely at ease, that they don't have to for 1 hour carry the burdens of everything, of all the responsibilities and everything else that they have to do in their normal day-to-day life that they may not be able to like get rid of, or that you may not want to. Even like if you have a high stress life, you might really love that life, but your body needs a break. And so it's a place to give the body that break.
Have you ever had a client fall asleep while you're doing massaging their feet?
Oh yeah, I have. They sometimes start snoring in the chair, and often then they get a little disappointed because it's over before they don't really remember. But yeah, it happens.
One thing I wanted to ask you about this too with reflexology is somebody's got neck issues. Can can doing a foot massage, reflexology, help with neck issues?
Yes, very much so. Again, like everything in your body is connected to those nerve endings in your feet. So on your big toe, you have, or your thumb, it on the side there is going to be your neck and across, and then right hooking underneath on this side here. That reflex point there connects to the tight muscles that you often get right at the base of your neck that you might get migraines and headaches. So people that have that tight tension in their shoulders and their neck and they get headaches from that, if I go on that reflex point there, it's almost always a very sharp and uncomfortable feeling. So they can feel that. And yeah, you just work the whole neck and it releases the tension in the shoulders. It releases the tension in the neck because your nervous system is getting the signal to relax those areas and improve the circulation to those areas.
Perhaps I should make a trip to Saskatchewan and book a session with you because I know when I'm on this laptop, I use it for my talk show, my media work.
Mm.
Sometimes I'm on here 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, and then my neck, I get like headaches from my back of my neck, and that's probably
Oh
being
yeah.
on the computer too much. So I should probably look into a reflexology session at some point.
Yeah. No, it's definitely it's so good for your body. And honestly, it's kind of like if you were a vehicle and you take, you do your regular oil changes and all those things that keep the vehicle running properly. Reflexology is just one of those things that when you go for a session, and people that do it for maintenance, they go about once a month and it just helps keep everything flowing and circulating and functioning better. And the more you do it, the better your body gets because when the circulation improves, things heal and come into order. And so every time it just gets better and better. It kind of compounds.
How often would you recommend reflexology to somebody? Once a week, once a month? How would that go?
It really varies for me depending on the client and their needs. So if someone is coming to me and they're in a state of high survival where they're very stressed out, they're constantly in a place where they can't sleep and they're not functioning very well because there's so much stress in their life, I recommend starting with like a 3 sessions back to back, so week one, like once a week, and that just kind of gives them a baseline to gauge where they can go from there. Because when you're up at this state of stress with your nervous system for so long, when you have reflexology or you create a space for it to relax, you might crash. And what you actually want with your nervous system is the ability to kind of go more middle line, not so high and then crashing so low. So what we work on is trying to build a resilience where your body can then maintain a stress and then back to that homeostasis or a deep relaxation but then goes back up. Like we don't want it to be so drastic. So for someone that's very stressed, a little bit short of a time in between it helps the body to kind of start to build its own resilience. um, if it's someone that's just looking, they feel pretty healthy, they manage their stress pretty good, but they want to keep their body in optimal health, then I would say once a month is plenty.
Would should somebody see their family doctor before they go see a reflexologist?
I would It's definitely recommended, especially if you have some sort of medical issues, any kind of medical, and if you don't necessarily have to see your doctor beforehand, though I will always say it's a good thing to talk to your doctor before. But if you do see a reflexologist for whatever reason, you should be mentioning it to your doctor too. So that way they know because reflexology can change your symptoms. Sometimes it may not be, like for instance, something that we wouldn't want would be someone comes to me because they're experiencing some sort of pain or issue. Reflexology, because you're working the nervous system and it's the signals and the different things in your body, it can mask some of those symptoms. It can take away the pain temporarily. So then they think, oh, I don't need my medication anymore. And they might get rid of their medication. But it's not that their body is ready for that per se. It's just that the treatment made them feel good for that time. So it's really good to be able to have communication with your doctor and keep them informed so that way they understand that maybe some of the symptom changes could be coming from that and also they can keep an eye on what's going on.
Now, if somebody has high blood pressure and they're on medication for it, then it's still okay to do reflexology as long as
Yep.
they're taking their medication? Okay.
Yes, yes. And again, it's always good to check with your doctor.
How much how much can reflexology reduce your stress level and even improve your blood pressure? Have you seen people where they've gotten off blood pressure pills or they've seen their blood pressure decrease due to having your sessions once a month?
I would say that with reflexology, you can't really make any claims of it curing stuff. It's not really the thing that cures you. It just provides an environment in your body for your body to get healthier and heal. So be in the sessions, and I think this is something that they have studied, that when you have a session it does lower your blood pressure, because your body is in that state of relaxation and you're regulating your nervous system. But it's not something that I would say like, oh, you don't need your meds anymore. Again, that's something you have to really watch closely with your doctors. Does it have the possibility of that? I would say so, because you are, again, relaxing and being able to build that regulation within yourself. A lot of times, high blood pressure is linked to stress and high tense situations. So it depends. Everyone's different, but there could be other reasons why a person has high blood pressure. And again, that's where it's important to keep up with your doctor. And yeah.
On average, Jessica, how many sessions do you have in a day with your clients?
I try to book only 4 a day just because of where my schedule in my life is right now. But I have done up to the most I've done in a day is 11, and that's
Wow.
when yeah. Those are more when I go to shows and I have people that book with me for the whole day, and I just have like a line and just one after another people come. But like I said, generally in my home office, I try to keep it to 4. Sometimes if I have to, it might go up to about 6.
Now, how do you look after your hands? Because when you use your hands, you gotta take care of them as well as a
Yeah.
reflexologist.
Um, I'm always cautious that when my hand is starting to feel like it's hurting, like if I'm using it too much, or I listen to my own body. So when it feels like it needs a break, I switch hands. And I'm always conscious about not pushing it past the limit because I don't want to burn out my hands. And then a lot of times too, you can kind of counter, so while I am massaging, I can also massage my hand, if that makes sense. So using the heel, I'll be working the heel part and then pushing on my own hand with the heel as well, because then it's both of us are getting essentially a massage. So if I need to have that little bit of relief, that tends to help. But the biggest thing is mostly watching out for my own body signals and listening to that, and not pushing past that in myself.
What's a fun fact about being a reflexologist and working with people's feet? What's a fun fact?
Mm, fun fact. Well, I guess this one's kind of it would you'd think it's obvious, but everyone's feet are so different. And I did not realize that calluses are not just an example of like where you have a lot of wear and tear. I have seen calluses on the most random, weird places on people's feet that it's not because it's getting rubbed from the shoe or something. And so I found out later with some study, and I would love to study this more, that quite often it can be a sign of different deficiencies or different protective buildup places from the nervous system itself. So a callus can be a representation of something other
Yep.
than like just being pressure and wear. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Being in my former career, I was in security for 24 years. I was on my feet a lot. I had to work boots. I had to be on concrete and stuff like that. And at the end of it, my feet started bothering me. So I actually, this is a little plug for Skechers, but I
Yeah.
switched over to Skechers because they got memory foam in them. And
Yep.
and ever since I switched over to Skechers, my feet haven't hurt as well.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, I think it's definitely really important to have the proper form for your feet.
Because people don't realize how important your feet are until you start having issues.
That's exactly right. Like our feet do so much for us, and we don't really, it's not something you think about, but you can't operate like in function without them at the same capacity.
Now, if somebody has an athlete's plantar fasciitis, which is normally I guess, from an athlete. Have you worked on cases like that where somebody has plantar fasciitis and reflexology's helped them?
So do you mean like the pain from plantar
Yes.
fasciitis? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It can be pretty uncomfortable and there's a lot of even I've had some clients with like neuropathy and stuff where they're very sensitive or sometimes they don't feel a lot of sensitivity and it does improve that because you're working the nervous system and the nerve function. It improves that by circulation.
Jessica, if it's okay, I'd like to play a video from your YouTube channel,
Yes, definitely.
Reflexology and Stress video. It's about 6 minutes.
Yep, definitely.
It's okay. And how can people follow you on social media and your YouTube channel, which I am now subscribed to?
Well, my YouTube channel is pretty new. I'm just kind of getting started on that. I do have my Facebook page, and same with TikTok. I'm most active on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, and just Light as Souls for pretty much all of those is my handle.
And I have it down on the ticker here too for our audience.
Yeah,
Okay,
awesome.
so I'm going to play the video right now, courtesy of your YouTube channel. And please let me know if you can hear the audio on this again. Reflexology and stress. Do you get stuck in procrastination, which I think we all have, including myself? One just second. I'm going to play this clip right now.
Talk about today how stress can be a good thing. It's not always a bad thing. Most people think stress is the problem, but stress is not the enemy. The real issue here is how long stress lasts and whether it's resolved and whether the body ever receives that signal that it feels safe again. Neuroscience, including the work of Dr. Andrew Huberman, shows us something very, very important. Short-term stress can actually be beneficial, but it's the long-term stress that causes damage to our body and changes things. This is what we need to learn. When we have acute stress, which is that short term, it can actually change things for the better. So let's talk about that first. Acute stress is a short lived thing, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Most importantly, it has an end. So think about that rush that you feel right before you have a big moment. That's your body's superpower. It's a place where you go into adrenaline and you can do something amazing. But again, remember this, it has a beginning, middle, and end. See, with stress, when it's short term, it actually sharpens you. Your cortisol will spike and your focus will narrow. Your immune system stands at attention. You actually have the ability to overcome sicknesses with acute stress. But when the deadline passes, your nervous system is able to shift back into that rest and digest. And that's where your body learns something important. It's I can handle hard things and then I can come home to myself. That's where we grow. Think about it in the way of going to the gym. If you're going to the gym and you're working out, you're putting stress on your body short term in order for you to go home and then take care of those muscles so that they can heal and grow. That's what makes you stronger. That's where your strength lies. Acute stress is like going to the gym. When you put your body under that short term pressure, you can see results that benefit your body. Reflexology is designed to help your body with this, help it return after these sprints, ensuring that your system actually completes that cycle instead of ramping it up. Now, let's talk about chronic stress. This is the stress that is so damaging on our body. When the signal gets stuck, what happens when the off switch breaks, the pressure keeps coming. Chronic stress is a completely different thing that we're dealing with. It is when the stress never resolves and you're in a constant state of pressure. The emotional weight that you carry never lifts. And in this state, your body stays on high alert. So sleep becomes shallow because your brain is constantly on alert, watching, and your body stops asking, how do we win and grow? And starts asking, how do I survive? Do you ever feel like you're in that survival state of just get through this day? You're not even thinking about how well you do this. I would encourage you to look into the polyvagal theory. Learn how your vagus nerve governs your entire stress response because it's a total game changer for self healing. When the body stops asking, how do I rise to this challenge? And instead starts saying, like, how do I survive this day? That's when our body starts to shut down. There are two faces of the survival system in this chronic stress. The chronic stress goes on for too long, and your body will choose a side, which is either hyperarousal, that always on mode, racing thoughts and guilt when you try to sit still, or the hyperarousal, which is that shutdown, where you have heavy brain fog and you feel disconnected from everything. Neither state is a choice, it's both a key survival strategy. Shutdown isn't the opposite of anxiety, it actually is what often comes after it. If you've ever felt lazy when you're actually in a shutdown mode, this is not about you being lazy or unable to do things. And most importantly, understanding can change how we view things. So, this is not just about resting because that does not fix that. If someone tells you just relax, it will make you want to scream. And there's a scientific reason for that. But mostly being that hyperactive system feels vulnerable when it slows down. But a shutdown system feels overwhelmed by the idea of waking up. In both cases, the missing ingredient is not motivation. It's actually felt safety. Your cells need to know that the environment around it is secure before it can let the guard down to rest. You don't have to wait for the world to calm down to feel safe, though. That's important to remember. That's why I love reflexology. It provides a physical anchor in which tells your brain it's okay to let go. It's okay to enter into the state that allows you to heal and rest. Reflexology plays a powerful role. What if you could talk to your nervous system without saying a single word? Reflexology doesn't force your body to change, it invites it. And by working with the nerve endings in your feet, we send a very clear, non threatening signal directly to the brain. Whether you're stuck in that high anxiety or the low of a shutdown, reflexology helps your body find that middle ground again. It's about creating conditions in which your body can finally feel safe enough to heal itself physically, mentally, and emotionally. It's about creating conditions in which change is possible. You are the expert on your own body. And if you're ready to move out of that survival mode back into life, this is what provides that opportunity. Anything that makes your body feel like it has permission to fully rest. Stress isn't the problem. The lack of recovery, that's what the problem is. Always being on isn't a strength, and being shut down or lazy is not a weakness. They are both survival responses. Reflexology helps that nervous system remember how to move in and out of stress, how to activate when it's needed, and how to rest when it's safe. So important for our bodies. It doesn't just help relax. It's not about just feeling good and relaxed. It's about helping your body feel safe enough to engage again with the world and then to come back to safety. So let's talk about
Thoughts on this video on your YouTube channel?
Yeah. Basically, it's kind of like we were talking about earlier, where it's just one of the most exciting things about reflexology to me, where your body can learn to handle stress. Your body can learn to have the capacity to face the things with mental illness or healing or the traumas and different things. You can create safety within your own body through reflexology and creating that place where you can come back to safety. So, yeah, it's one of my favorite things about reflexology.
How much of an impact has social media and the internet had on reflexology, and as for you being an entrepreneur and a small business owner?
Well, I would definitely say it makes it a lot easier for me. That's for sure. Um, I honestly can't and haven't found a whole lot on reflexology because when I first started, I was looking and I was trying to find podcasts and different shows with it, and there's not a lot on this. There's not a lot of reflexology content, but I'm kind of working to change that.
Have you thought about starting your own reflexology podcast show?
Well, sort of. I'm working on. I've thought about mostly with my TikToks. I do a lot of educating with it, and I try to educate from the standpoint of all of it. So I'll have some where I teach the techniques and just kind of go into the basics of what's happening with the techniques. And then I also bring it back to the nervous system and the regulation of the nervous system and the importance of that. And then I tie that back into the root of why I even started this, which is the emotions and the things that control our lives from stress and traumas and other things like that. So that's where I'm mostly focused right now, is just educating people that there is a way to create that in your body and you don't have to try to figure it all out in just your head.
Is there still that social taboo about feet, even in 2026?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I think that is kind of what you make it. There's definitely people, like recently I was at an event where I was doing reflexology, and there was a guy that, paid me to, he said, give me a foot massage, and it was being kind of weird about it, and it looked like he was videoing me, and all his buddies were laughing and stuff. So there's some times where there's things about that, or I've had people message me private thinking that that I do other services and stuff, which, so there you have to deal with that kind of thing, but that's the internet too, and people can just be a bit weird.
Wanted to ask you this. You work with feet a lot, and now you're learning about hand reflexology. Can you tell us a little about ears? Have you done reflexology on ears?
No, I haven't done anything with ears. I've heard a little
Okay.
bit of I had one lady that I had talked to, and she called it ear seating, and basically it's where you have the different points in your ears, and they just put like a little like a bead or like a needle, almost like the acupuncture things, just like a little stick in there, and it will take away apparently headaches and different things like that. I think it's pretty cool, and I would love to look more into it, but I don't know anything more about it currently.
Do you see more and more people getting into reflexology? And do you find there are men reflexologists too?
Yeah, so like the instructor that I had for reflexology, he was a man. He's in his 80s. His name is Chris Shirley, and he is the owner and founder of um oh, I can't remember now. It's Pacific Reflexology, and he came from Vancouver, and he was I found it very informative learning from him. He's quite a bit older, and he's had years and years and years and years of experience. And when he got into the field of reflexology, it was a lot simpler, and there wasn't a lot known about it at the time. So I would almost say he's one of the grandfathers in the field in Canada for reflexology, and that was pretty cool to learn from him.
Jessica, how did you come about founding Light of Souls Reflexology, and what challenges did you have starting up your own business as an entrepreneur?
I would say that it was after I took my training, obviously I wanted to start my own practice, and I decided to work out of my home. So for the time being, I have a home office. I'm in the process right now of trying to get a building and buying a building so that we can actually go from being inside to where we can work in a building with other people as well, and I can hire other reflexologists. But as right now, we only have the home office, and that was something that I actually really loved, because working from home I can create a space that was very peaceful and very controlled environment, and I find that most people responded pretty nicely to that. So I would say I enjoyed the process of building the business.
How would you describe yourself as a female entrepreneur, business owner
uh
too?
there's these challenges, especially since I have 5 kids and they're all kind of middle ages. My youngest is 3 and my oldest is 12. Um, so that part is challenging, because I have to have enough space for my family, and at the same time have enough space for business and growing that business. But I don't think that it's impossible. And then also I'm going into schooling, because I'm going to be taking training for some more modalities, so hand reflexology, and then I'm going into massage therapy and osteopathic therapy as well, because it's all about the body and bringing it back to body and creating that space for healing within the body. But yeah, I would say that as a woman, it comes with challenges, but it's also not impossible.
How important is the work-life balance too, being a mom and a wife, and then being a business owner at the same time, so you don't get burned out?
It's very difficult, but you have to just understand not to push yourself. And I think that that's something that I learned a lot when I started to do the healing work in myself. A lot of the reasons why I had the mental struggles in the first place is that I had been neglecting myself, and I've been neglecting the needs and the things that my body was telling me, and that created the problem. So stress and other related things to my mental health, I had to learn how to navigate that. So before I even started business, I had already this whole background on learning to listen to my body and its needs. So that created a space that even within business, I know the balance and I know the limitations of my body, and that makes a big difference for me.
I know one thing is I'm in the process of losing weight and I'm seeing a nutritionist dietitian right now. And one of the biggest things was for me is to listen to your body when your stomach is full, to listen to your body. Just like when you're tired at night. I can't speak for you, but I know sometimes when I'm tired at night, I should go to bed and sleep. I fight it off and keep working. And then when I want to sleep, I can't. So for me,
Exactly.
I think for me, for sleep and for weight loss, I need to start listening to my body a little more.
Yes. Oh, listening to your body is extremely important. When it comes to your health on any capacity, if you're listening to your body, it's already telling you so much. Your body is trying to communicate to you, even when you have pain, different diseases, any of those things that we address, even within reflexology, they're just signals that your body is trying to tell you something. So, yeah, it's very important.
Jessica, as we wrap this show up in a couple minutes, can you just tell us about the importance of branding in the marketing aspects and how did you come about the name Light of Souls Reflexology?
The branding and marketing, obviously very important. I didn't find it to be too extremely difficult being in the field that I am and in the space where in Saskatchewan, it's not very competitive because in the area that I am, there are not a lot of reflexologists. So just merely by being there, it created a space for me to have a market. Uh, One of the things that I have learned about the marketing and branding aspects that has been really important is social media. The social media has been enormous because as I share and I make these little videos and things like that, the views might not be super high, but it's getting awareness out there. And that awareness builds that trust. And so when people see your face and they see you talking, even if they're not even listening or engaging, maybe they listen to a little bit, when they go to think, oh, I need this, or maybe I should try this, you're the first person that pops up in their head. And I find that to be very valuable.
And how we connected was seeing your content on TikTok.
Exactly. It opens up lots of opportunities like this.
Technology, you hear all the negative things about it, but it's a good tool if you use it the right way.
Yes, it definitely can be.
And I joined TikTok 5 years ago at the age of 47, and I thought, "Oh, I'm too old for this." One of my friends like, "You wanna get into radio media? Join TikTok." And I'm like, "Ah, alright, I'll try it," but, it's for high school kids, it's juvenile, and 5 years later, I've learned how to promote my guests like you, myself, how to create content, and I've had a number of guests on my show
Yeah.
from TikTok and social media platforms.
Yeah, and that's amazing. Honestly, the it creates such a space of opportunities, and it's difficult sometimes to get in front of that camera and get used to speaking and having that platform. But when you do it, the opportunities that come from it, even without a huge platform, like you don't need to have hundreds of thousands of followers to make an impact in your community, or even to broader view than just the community around you. And it's pretty incredible.
And my show's not just a sports show. It's basically a very diverse show with guests and topics. And I want people who watch this live stream or on audio to learn from my guests and from myself as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I
Just
appreciate that.
Hey, Jessica, what kind of services again do you provide? Or just tell us a little bit about a deep soul reflexology session and a basic foot reset, but a basic foot reflexology and how long each session is approximately.
Yeah, so basically, I have two packages that I offer. The first one is the basic, and that is where I go through all the different reflex points on the foot, and I work each of those nerve endings, and then I will end with a massage, and it's about 30 to 40 minutes, give and take, depending on the person and the size of their feet and different things like that. The deeper session is I do the same thing where I go through all the nerve endings on their feet, on both feet. But then I go back in and I use essential oils to kind of help promote the circulation and relaxation process, and I will really work more intently and focused in those areas. And so a deep soul session will usually be anywhere between 60 minutes to, it could go up to about an hour and a half, but honestly, it averages about an hour and 15 minutes.
How satisfying is it being able to help clients and help improve their physical and mental health with your
It's
reflexology
very
sessions?
satisfying. It's very satisfying. It's such a, like I said, from my own personal journey of coming from a place of being so emotionally dysregulated and living so miserably in my own stuff, to be able to create a space for people to have that calm and safety in their body where they can feel like maybe they can handle facing some of those things. Maybe they can handle the difficult stuff and the emotional load that they've been carrying. It's such a rewarding job for me.
What is next on your bucket list as an entrepreneur, and how much of an impact? Actually, I already did that question with you. So this question, I'll just cut it in half. What is next on your bucket list as an entrepreneur and a business owner?
Well, like I had mentioned before, I am starting massage therapy school so that I can take manual osteopathic therapy. So it'll be 3 years of training, and that will basically give me a very comprehensive knowledge of not only the nervous system, but your muscles and the muscular system, as well as the skeletals. And I'll be able to help assess in a body what is going on and how to promote the best outcome for the body to heal itself, because I genuinely believe the body is designed and is always trying to heal itself, but things like stress and tension and emotions and environment and health, like diet, all those things can get in the way of the body's healing. So by using those different modalities, I want to be able to help people's bodies function the best that they can and create that opportunity for them to live better quality lives.
Now, if you have a client that's out of town, are you willing to travel, or are you just basically stay in your area at
I
home for
mostly
now?
stay in my area. I do trade shows where I will travel once in a while, and I travel for people within my town if they have some sort of disability. So I have a few people that it's hard for them to get out of their house, whether they have their mobility is not so good and things like that, and I can go to their place and I can actually work on them there. But otherwise, I there are people that offer mobile services. I just personally don't.
For people that are watching our show on live stream or on audio, and they're in the Saskatchewan area and not far from you, and they've never tried a reflexology session, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to give it a try. It's one of the easiest and I think personally one of the best things you can do for your health, because all you have to do is say yes and then sit there and enjoy a foot massage. And your body just gets so many benefits from it. So yeah, I always say try it. It's such an easy thing you can do that feels really good, and you'll walk away feeling like your feet are like on clouds.
I think after having you on my show today, I might consider trying a session and getting back to you on how I liked it, because I
Yeah, I
know I'm
would.
I'm I'm trying to take better care of my body, because if you don't look after your body, it's like a car. If you neglect your car,
Exactly.
neglect your body, eventually you end up paying for it at the end.
That is very true. Very true.
Just because we wrap this show up, this is a segment called Ask the Host CDP a Question. Do you have a question for me before we wrap this up?
I would say what was the most interesting thing you learned about reflexology through this
Uh,
conversation, buddy?
there's 7,000 pressure points in a foot or nerves. I did not know that.
Yeah,
And
that is,
and I did not know there was hand reflexology and ear reflexology as well.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
And finally, where can our audience again follow you on social media? Do you have any plans for a website? And the best way of our audience contact you for one of your sessions at Light of Souls Reflexology?
I would say the best place would be to contact me if they wanted to book would be Facebook, which is just Light of Souls Reflexology and Wellness, and that would be my booking link is right on there. It's very easy to book from there. Um, otherwise, Light of Souls, same as TikTok and Instagram. You can find me there, and I have a lot of videos, and I always have my booking link in my bio as well.
And if I ever do get out to Saskatchewan, which I will one day, I hope, to watch a Saskatchewan Roughriders game
Yeah, there you
or a
go.
lacrosse game. Hey, you got a great lacrosse team in the Saskatchewan Rush and the Roughriders. So if I ever do get out to Saskatchewan, I will let you know and maybe book a session with you too.
Definitely. Definitely.
Well, Jessica, I want to say continued success in the world of reflexology. And thank you so much for giving us almost an hour of your time tonight. And if you can give me a little
Yeah.
bit of time tonight, I will send you the full video, the audio, and I will edit this into reels and clips and tag
Oh,
you in on TikTok and Instagram. And hopefully, somebody that's watching this show or listening to this show will contact you in the future as well.
yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Have a great night. And hopefully the weather gets better in Saskatchewan in the
Yeah.
next couple of weeks for you as well. I'm sure you're waiting for summer to come
Oh,
as well.
yes. Oh, yes, I am. Well, thank you for so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Have a good night. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that wraps up season 13, episode 45, overall 705 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com. Speaking of Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, right now, an adventure starts with an EV health check package. Every package includes the complimentary barbecue utensil, since it is barbecue season coming up, includes a 12-volt battery condition check, a 70-point vehicle health check, a tire rotation, underbody wash for $239.99 plus tax for cars and trucks. More details at barrycullen.com or call the dealership at 519-824-0210. The offer ends on May 31st, 2026. So again, if you have an EV vehicle, get it checked out at Barry Cullen Chevrolet with their Adventure Starts package. Again, you get a free complimentary barbecue utensil. Again, a 12-volt battery check, a 70-point vehicle health check, a tire rotation, and underbody wash for $239.99 plus tax. So check out barrycullen.com. And as we wrap up the show, guys, I have a busy Friday ahead, and I will make this announcement as we end the show. My next live with CDP Sports Entertainment Talk Show, again, brought to you by barrycullen.com. I have two shows on Friday. On Friday, May 8th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern with guest Brad Bisbing, the assistant general manager of the Buffalo Bisons, the top farm team for the Toronto Blue Jays. Brad's going to come on and talk to us about the 2026 Buffalo Bisons, the latest happenings and going on at Saline Field, and the Canadian dollar at par deal for Bison fans in Southern Ontario. And Brad's going to talk a little bit about some of their theme nights and promotions this summer at Saline Field. So if you've never been to a AAA game, highly recommend it. It's about 7 minutes from the Peace Bridge going across from Ontario to Buffalo. And Brad's been with the Bisons for a long time. He's a good guy. And I'm excited to have Brad on tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. talking Bisons and the impact they had on the Toronto Blue Jays in their 2025 World Series team last year as well. And then I have my second show on Friday, May 8th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern with a friend of mine. His name is Matt Derry. He is a longtime Detroit and Cleveland media personality. He's now with Financial Architects, an investment company in Michigan. And Matt Derry is also the host of the Locked On Lion podcast. But tomorrow with Matt Derry, we're going to talk Pistons and Cavs game 2, which was going on tonight. Hopefully the Pistons won. I'll have to find out when I wrap this show up. So yeah, Matt will be on 11:30 a.m. tomorrow to talk Pistons, Cavs, and also about the 2026 Cleveland Guardians as well. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about the Detroit Lions in their draft picks as well. So Brad Bisbing at 10:30 from the Buffalo Bisons, 11:30 Matt Derry from Financial Architects, who is a longtime Detroit Cleveland media personality as well. And that is about it, guys, for tonight's show. Again, I want to say thank you to Barry Cullen Chevrolet for being a part of this show as an advertiser. And thank you to my guest, Jessica Vaughters, a reflexologist and the founder of her own company called Light of Souls Reflexology. And I will post her websites and stuff on the graphics as we wrap up the show as well. Before I wrap up this show, guys, I wanted to play you a little clip of a new intro video, and I want to see what you guys thought. So please comment in the comment section. I'm considering using this new intro video that I had done, so we'll see what you guys think of it. I'm going to play that clip right now.
Chris Pome Talk Show by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, a weekly entertainment talk show live on YouTube, X, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and available on audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and wherever podcasts are available. And now, here's your host, Chris Pome.
I just wanted to play my new possible opening video. So please, guys, comment on the comment section or DM me on my social media pages as well. I thought it was time for a new opening intro, so we'll see how people react to that as well. And as we wrap up this show, guys, again, if you're looking to adopt a pet, please check out the Cambridge District Humane Society. They're located at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0. Or you can visit their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org. All the pets and animals up for adoption, their information on cambridgehumanesociety.org. And they also have an Amazon wish list if you want to go through cambridgehumanesociety.org as well. Michelle and the staff do a wonderful job in getting all the animals up for adoption down there. And fingers crossed, McNally the cat is got to go in for surgery, possibly again. He was left abandoned in shopping bag a week and a half ago, and thankfully an animal controls officer brought him to safety, and he had to get emergency safety. So you can go on their website too if you'd like to make an online donation towards McNally's service. McNally's surgery services as well. And I believe I do have it down here on my social media page on here. Just 1 second. If you want to help out McNally the cat at the Humane Society, or basically go to cambridgehumanesociety.org or give them a call at 519-623-7722, extension 0. Ask for cat, and you can do a donation through the phone or through online as well. They do wonderful work down there at the Cambridge District Humane Society, and their motto is you can't buy happiness, but you can adopt it. And I'm looking forward to doing my volunteer work tomorrow, walking dogs down at the Cambridge District Humane Society as well. And they do a really great job down there as well. So if you're looking to adopt a pet, please consider the Cambridge District Humane Society. And they're right across from the Cambridge Center Mall, again at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge. And that is about it for tonight, guys. Again, you can email me live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show at cpame19@gmail.com. Any comments, questions, suggestions, feedback would be greatly appreciated. And again, you can follow me on Facebook, X, Threads, Instagram, LinkedIn, Blue Sky Social at Live with CDP19 on Blue Sky Social. And also check out my YouTube channel. Go to Chris Pame Live with CDP Talk Show, subscribe, like, and share. And my next two goals are to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and 1 million views. So for those people who are already subscribed and watch my show and my content, thank you so much. And for those who haven't, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. And also check out my YouTube shorts. I have a lot of content there as well. And that is about it for tonight, guys. Again, we've got the NBA action on tonight, Detroit-Cleveland game 2. I'm not sure who won that game, so fingers crossed the Pistons won. And then we've got the Lakers going against Oklahoma City, which should be probably in the second quarter right now. That series is 1-0 Oklahoma. Detroit-Cleveland game should be finished 2, game 2. Pistons were up 1-0 in that series as well. The Tigers are off. They are in Kansas City this weekend as well. And we got NHL Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. Only one game. Philadelphia, Carolina, back in Philadelphia. Hurricanes lead the series 2-0. And at last count, it was 1-0 Carolina as well. It's a busy time of the year. We got the Stanley Cup playoffs going, you got the Stanley Cup playoffs going, the NBA playoffs going, Major League Baseball is back, and the National Lacrosse League playoffs are down to their final four. And this week you got Halifax, Georgia game 2 in Halifax this weekend, and you've got San Diego and Toronto this Saturday night, May 9th at the TD Coliseum as well. And that series is tied at 1-1. And that is about it tonight, guys. I want to say thank you to my guests again, Jessica Vaughters. Jessica Vaughters, founder of Light of Souls Reflexology, for coming on our show tonight. Please check out her social media pages as well. And I learned a lot about reflexology tonight as well. And that is about it, guys. I am looking forward to my 2 shows tomorrow. Brad Bisbing, from the assistant general manager from the Buffalo Bisons, on at 10:30 tomorrow morning on Friday, May 8th. And then at 11:30 on May 8th, I have Matt Dury on, and we're going to break down the Pistons-Cavs game 2 and also talk a little bit about the Cleveland Guardians and maybe a little bit about Detroit Lions, since Matt does a podcast show called Locked On Lions during the NFL season as well. And maybe talk a little bit about Syracuse and Wake Forest playing their opener at BMO Field this August at BMO Field in Toronto, and the reaction to that announcement made today by Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment Talk Show as well. That is about it, everybody. Again, thank you to Barry Cullen Chevrolet, and thank you, the audience, for watching this show live stream on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Instagram, and also to my audience on audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and wherever podcasts are available. So thank you again to Jessica Vaughters and everybody for watching and listening to Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, hosted by yours truly, Chris Palme. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you back here Friday, May 8th at 10:30 a.m. with Brad Bisbing, 11:30 with Matt Derry. Have a good night, everybody.
You